Hey guys, welcome back to Aiden's ASMR. Okay, it has been a while. I don't have enough subscribers, but I'm still going to explain my absence. I posted my first ASMR video, and that was a year ago. And I have been so busy in the past year at home doing a lot of stuff online, a lot of activities online that I didn't have any time. Not only I didn't have any time to post any ASMR videos, I didn't have I didn't have the what do you call it? I didn't have the strength to post any ASMR videos. I just wasn't feeling up to it. But I decided to get back on my ASMR kick to do it because I miss doing ASMR videos. And even though my channel is just now starting and I barely have any subscribers, I want to upstart my channel, at least to give me something more to do while I am in quarantine. So today, um, it's if you real quick, if you don't know what ASMR is, I can't really explain it, but here's just a little gist of it of what a lot of people feel like when they do it. ASMR is this tingly feeling you get down your spine and your neck, and it relaxes you. And there's a buttload of triggers that you use that relaxes you and you get that tingly feeling. It's mostly tingles, so it's triggers that you do to get that feeling. And excuse my ashy hands, I just got done washing dishes. I wanted to go ahead and jump right into the ASMR video, so I didn't have enough time to put in on any lotion, so I might do that. But I'm gonna speak a little bit higher today. I will try to be a little bit more relaxing when I'm reading and slowly read, but I'm gonna speak a little bit higher today because I don't have a mic, and I'm not sure if everybody can hear me when I whisper, so I'm just gonna speak a little bit high, but I'll try to keep my voice at a lower pitch than I normally would talk. So today's video isn't gonna be a regular video. It's a regular, like a trigger type of regular ASMR video. Today's video is going to be a true crime video. Um, I love true crime. I'm a big fan of true crime. One of the reasons why I like true crime is because true crime shows you the real dangers in the world, and it teaches you new things that could have happened to you or a lot of people out there, or a lot of cases that a lot of people don't know about. So I watch a lot of true crime ASMR. I've been watching true crime ASMR for maybe about 2 years now. If I'm not watching regular ASMR, I'm watching true crime ASMR. I love true crime ASMR. It teaches me about the dangers out in the world and what to look out for when I go out in the world when I get older. It's time for me to go out in the world by myself, and it teaches me who to stay away from or what signs to look at to stay away from, so not only I can keep myself safe, but my family safe, and keep my family alive and me alive and the people I love alive. So that's why I do true crime ASMR, or I watch true crime ASMR, and I like it. Um, so I decided I would do that. I've been wanting to make a true crime ASMR video for the longest, but just haven't had the I just haven't had, it's not necessarily I haven't had the strength to do it. I just haven't had there's a specific word I'm looking for that I can't think of right now, but I just didn't have I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking for a specific word, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's not only I've been busy, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I didn't have the strength for it. And things like that. But I wanted to go ahead and sit down and do one today. So like I said again, I'm going to speak in a little bit of a more, I'm not going to whisper because I'm not sure if everybody can hear me when I do that, but I am going to try to make this as relaxing as it can be. I do have an ASMR video playing in the background right now, so if you do hear background noise, that's because I have ASMR playing, so I can be relaxed while I help relax you guys. I will be making an ASMR Instagram to post little sneak peeks and snippets to help grow my YouTube channel. Um, so I will link that down in the description when I post this to YouTube. This will be posted on later on tonight. Um, there's really no need for me to edit this because of the fact that um, this is just some short videos. I mean, short videos. Sorry, that this is just a short story and things like that. I edit my videos when I like do all the triggers and everything, and it's longer than expected. This video might be 20 minutes to 30 minutes long, depending on how much I can find. I did find a couple true crime stories from a couple articles here and there. So yeah, so if you do, it would help me a lot to grow my channel. If you like, comment, and subscribe, hit that notification bell for whenever I post videos. I will now try to post ASMR videos on weekly, well, every day, from, I think what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to start posting ASMR videos every Monday and every Friday, so look out for those. I post those updates on my ASMR Instagram when I open it up and everything. So again, like I said, I'm going to try to make this as relaxing as possible. If you hear noises in the background, that's because I have another ASMR video playing while so I can relax myself and while relaxing you. I'm gonna talk um a little bit louder today. Not loud too loud, but relaxing loud, so you guys can hear me, because I do not have a microphone at this moment. So I try to make do what I can do with. So again, it would really appreciate me to help grow my channel if you can like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified whenever I post new videos. Yeah, and I will link the my ASMR Instagram down below, and I hope you guys relax. I hope you guys enjoy this. I think I'm gonna start making true crime ASMRs along with my regular ASMRs. I'll work out a schedule for true crime ASMRs and regular ASMRs, but look out for my regular ASMRs every Monday and Friday. And I think I'm gonna probably upload them. I'll give you the full gist of it on my Instagram, but I'll upload them probably at 8 o'clock p.m. EST. And you can find those on my YouTube channel. So yes, again, I hope this relaxes you and you enjoy it. Again, if I'm doing anything wrong, or if there's something that I can help to more relax you, please let me know down in the comments below. It would really help me improve. And again, sit back, relax, enjoy, grab your popcorn, a drink, maybe a furry friend or a family member to sit next to you while I read these stories for you. So I have found some true crime stories. um I also got this little cute mug my mom got me. It's like a toilet bowl mug, and I like it. Um, yeah. So this is to help keep my throat, um, keep my throat moist, so it won't get dry and crackly. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and get on into the video. So I found some true crime articles to read from. I got one open already, and it's just some true crimes that have happened in the past years, or all over the world, in different parts of the world. Um, some of these crimes I might be familiar with, so I might give you a little recap before I actually read what's in the article. Like if I come across the Zodiac Killer, I'm very familiar with the Zodiac Killer, and I think everybody is. If I come across the Chicago Tylenol murders, everybody might know what the Chicago Tylenol murders is. If I come across like the boy in the box, if you don't know what the boy in the box is, it was this boy that was found in the box in Philadelphia in 1957. He was badly beaten, and they could never identify him till this day. They could not identify him. They never was able to identify him. A lot of leads came in, but nothing ever came out of him. Excuse me. Nothing ever came out of him. Nobody ever came forward to claim him as their son or their foster son, or whatever the case may be. So, like I said, I might know a little bit of these articles that might come across my screen. And if I don't, I'll be learning something new while you guys learn something new. So, here we go. So, alrighty. So, so here's it says introduction. Nothing is more chilling than an unsolved murder case, and the world has plenty of them. Even when the court has given its verdict, in some circumstances, it is difficult for us to accept it. This article contains some of the most well-known murder cases that shocked the world. In some of these cases, murders have been identified, tried, and punished, while others have remained open and have never been solved. That is one of the most chilling things to me, is when somebody goes missing or somebody gets murdered, and either A, the killer has never been identified, or two, they can't be identified, and the case just goes completely cold. It's not only sad for whoever she or him or they them might belong to, and their family never gets the closure they deserve. So it says famous murder cases around the world. Number one, Dennis Nelson. Dennis Nelson was a serial killer who killed 6 people in the late 1970s and early 1980s. He would pick up young men at London bars and then take them home to strangle them. He would also bathe and dress their bodies frequently, keeping them for weeks or even months, and talk to and have sex with them before eventually burning or flushing them down the toilet. Let me pause real quick. Sorry. If true crime isn't your thing, this might not be the video for you. So a little viewer discretion, because there might be some stuff where it has sex in it, or it might tell you the details of it in this article. So if this is not the video for you, go ahead and click off and then go to one of my other videos. So if true crime is not for you, please click off if it's not for you. So a little viewer discretion of vibes, just in case. If this might trigger anybody, I don't want to trigger anybody. And have sex with them before eventually burning or flushing them down the toilet. He was only he was only convicted because the leftover parts of the human and he had tried to flush down were stuck in a drain outside his home. Um, I've never heard about Dennis Nelson. As much sorry, as much crew crime as much true crime that I watch on YouTube and articles I read of missing people and cases being reopened because new leads coming in after decades of being closed. I've never heard about, and I've come across a lot of serial killers. I never heard about Dennis Nelson, so I just learned something new. Alrighty, number two, her name is Dorothy Stratton. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. If I'm not pronouncing her name right, if the family members ever see this video, I'm sorry. I might not pronounce the names right, so I'll try to my best ability to sound them out and pronounce them right. So Dorothy Stratton was an ordinary 18-year-old girl working at a Dairy Queen in British Columbia, Canada, where she met Paul Snyder. He wooed her with sweet words and assured her that she would be a superstar. Snyder encouraged Stratton to pursue modeling and even per and even persuaded sorry and even persuaded her to relocate to Los Angeles to compete in Playboy's 25th anniversary Great Playmate Hunt. So if you're not, everybody should be familiar with Playboy. I'm even familiar with that. Yeah, I shouldn't at my age. If you don't know what Playboy is, Playboy was a very dirty magazine back in the 80s or 90s, I believe, but it was a very it was like a it was just no, it was a dirty magazine for adults back then. Yeah. So it says Snyder snatched her away and planned to make money off of her. Hugh Hennifer spotted Stratton's potential and predicted that she would be the next Marilyn Monroe. Stratton first appeared in the film Playboy in the role of Miss August 1979, and then went to star in films such as Buck Rogers' Fantasy Island and Galaxnadia, or I don't know how to pronounce that. But if y'all know, let me know down in the comments below. Stratton was rapidly raising the Hollywood ladder. She was already being dubbed as one of the few budding goddesses of the new decade by the press. Stratton was cast uh, uh, opposite of Audrey Hepburn in the film. She developed a love affair with the film's director Peter Bungovich while filming in New York. Snyder became suspicious of Stratton and hired a private eye to follow her around. When she went home, however, she revealed the truth to her husband. She was in love with Badamovich and wanted a divorce. Snyder didn't speak much, at least not in front of her, but according to his buddies, once Stratton called it off, he developed an unusual interest in guns and hunting. He brought a 12 a 12 gauge shotgun, took a few shooting courses, and began whispering in people's ears that Playboy had a policy of not printing nude images of women who were slan. Stratton paid a visit to Snyder's house on August 14, 1980, to negotiate a property settlement she had promised him in the divorce. Snyder, on the other hand, would take advantage of the fact that they were alone to make his move. Snyder shot Stratton in the eye with the shotgun, killing her. He then turned the shotgun on himself after raping his dead wife's body. Stratton once Stratton once posed to be one of Stratton was once posed to be one of the next big Hollywood stars, but now her name is instead forever attached to her infamous murder. Wow, I've never heard of that case ever. Um I've never heard of that case. That's rather chilling to me because of the fact that that was her husband, or her soon to be ex husband, and she probably trusted him a lot. Wow, that's insane. Yeah, that's a little chilling if you ask me. I that mm, that's that's chilling. That really is. Um, Sorry if you see me looking down. I'm just checking the time. So if you see me looking down, I'm sorry about that. I'm just checking the time. But yeah, that's chilling to me. If you ask me that tell me what y'all think down in the comments below. Um, yeah. Wow. I feel bad for her parents and her families and sorry, her family. Um, alrighty. Alrighty. So, alright. Number three is Diane Downs. I've heard of Diane Downs. I can't remember off the top of my head, um, what happened with her, so it's about to refresh my memory, but her name has come up. It has come up, so yeah, so mhm, it has come up. Uh, okay, let's continue. Okay, sorry guys. I meant to tell you I had to use the bathroom. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so Diane Downs. Diane Downs shot her three children and drove them to the hospital in 1983. Alright, just by reading that, she's got guts to shoot her own children that she's supposed to care for and then drives them to the hospital. Like they're not going to ask her questions, but we're going to go ahead and. Okay. And this is very short. This is just the short one. In 1983, one of her daughters died on the way to the hospital. Another had a stroke, and her son was paralyzed from the waist down. Diane stated that a strange man attempted to take her car and then began firing on everyone. Her secret diary, however, was eventually discovered by authorities, and it is described her obsession with a married man who did not want kids. Her arrest occurred as a result of this. She was given a life sentence of 50 years in jail. 50 years in jail. She should have got life with the death penalty, not only for shooting her three kids who loved her properly, or well, I'm not even gonna say properly, who loved her. And first of all, she has the guts to drive them to the hospital like she wasn't gonna get discovered afterwards. But 50 years, when one of her daughters died, and then one son was left paralyzed, and one had a stroke, and she was only given 50 years in jail. I don't feel like that's just my opinion. If you guys have another opinion on Diane Downs, that was just a short summary. It's not the whole true crime case, but if y'all got um If y'all have y'all thoughts on Diane Downs, let me know in the comments down below, because I don't feel like 50 years was a fair enough sentence already. I think that was number 3, so I think this is number 4. So Sharon Tate. Right. For decades, Hollywood, excuse me, I'm sorry. For decades, Hollywood and the rest of America had been scared by actress Sharon Tate. Sharon Tate's horrible murder by the Manson family while she was more than 8 months pregnant. Tate was at home with pals Wolfjit Frykowski. I can't really pronounce his name. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that right or even saying it right for that matter, but um he was, I'm just gonna refer to him as him, with pals him, Abigail Folger, and celebrity hairstylist J. Sebring on the night of August 8, 1969. Her spouse director Roman Polanski Polanski was filming a picture out of country. At the time, the couple was renting a posh home in Los Angeles, Benedict Canyon neighborhood, which would later become the site of the horrendous killings. Charles Manson, the infamous cult leader, ordered a couple of faithful followers to break into the house and kill everyone inside as gruesomely as you can. The cult members assassinated 18-year-old Stephen Parent, who was visiting the estate's caretaker, as soon as they entered the premises. Then they went inside, their sights set on the people who lived there. They rounded up the 4 people and tied them up in the living room. Seberg objected, claiming that the 8 months pregnant Tate was being tormented badly, but all he got was a bullet in the chest, a foot in the face, and a knife after a knife driven into his body until he died. Huh. Folger and him managed to liberate themselves from their shackles and attempted to flee. The attempt to flee was unsuccessful. They were pursued by the killers, who savagely stabbed them dozens of times. Whew. Tate was the was the only one who had survived. She begged her captors to let her live so that her unborn child may live. The Mason family, on the other hand, was unmoved. They stabbed her to death and drew the word pig on the front door with her blood. The house itself was Mason's purpose for the attack. Mason wanted vengeance on the previous renter, music producer Taylor Terry Mlincher, who had denied him a record deal. All over a record deal. All of the assaults from the night, as well as Mason himself, were or apprehended was apprehended by the end of the year. They were giving the death penalty, as they should, and were sentenced to life in prison. Every plea for the parole has been turned down. Wow. Wow. That is really, excuse my language right there, but that is really fucking sad. Oh my god, that is just horrible. That is horrible, Sharon Tate. That is horrible. My condolences goes out to her family. I know this happened a long time ago, but oh my god, that is horrible. They didn't even let her baby live. So not only they killed Sharon, they killed her unborn 8-month-old baby. Wow. This is crazy. That is really sad. Her baby didn't even get to have a life. Wow. I can't even I can't even fantasize or fantasize or I'm just left speechless. That and I never heard of Sharon's case before. Wow. That's crazy. That's really, 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 really crazy and really, really sad. Again, my condolences goes out to her family. Rest in peace. That's sad. That's okay. Well, okay. All right. Number 5, Catherine Knight. Catherine Knight was the first woman in Australia to be sentenced to life in prison without parole. She skinned her husband, John Price, after stabbing him to death. Soon after, she skinned him and fried various parts of his body, intending to feed them to her clueless children. She even arranged the table and used place cards to direct the children to their seats. Oh my god. These cases are crazy. That is really sick. Not only you killed your own husband, but you were gonna feed their father to them. That is. Oh my god. Mm. There's some really sick people out there. Oh my god. Okay. All right. All right. Number I think I said number 5, so I'm gonna go ahead and say number 6. Number 6, Versace, I think, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I'm just gonna try to, like I said, to my best ability. The public continued to be baffled by the shooting of fashion superstar Gianni Versace. I think that's how you say it, Gianni Versace, in broad daylight in front of his match. Oh, you know what? I think I heard about this. Or I think I watched a TV show about this. Mm-hmm. Fashion superstar in broad daylight in front of his mansion in Miami South Beach. Versace was well-known fashion designer and the founder of Versace Fashion House at the time of his death. In the fashion industry, he was a sensation, dressing celebrities such as Princess Diana of the Wells. But Versace was behaving strangely on the morning of July 15th, 1997. Witness claimed he went down to a nearby cafe, past the entrance, and then circled back to enter minutes before his death. Later, a hostess noted that it appeared as if he was being followed. Versace then went out and got a newspaper before returning to the $1 million Manturnian Villa but he never made it past the front door. How the murder occurred is unknown. A young man in his 20s approached Versace from behind and shot him twice in the head, according to some witnesses. According to according to some witnesses, others have claimed others claim the males approached uh, appeared to know each other. Excuse me. Others claim the males appeared to know each other and they were fighting over a bag when a gunshot rang out. Regardless of how it happened, one of the world's most recognizable fashion designers has passed away. Andrew Cunanan, a 27-year-old male, was the offender in the local gay community. He had reputation as a flamboyant gold digger who was who preyed on older guys for free tips and expensive stuff. Many individuals, however, referred to Cunanan or Cunnan as unhinged. Cannon killed 4 other men throughout the country in 3 months leading up to the murder of Versace, leading him on the FBI's most wanted list. Cannon, on the other hand, refused to take responsibility for his actions or or identify his purpose for killing Versace. Shortly after Versace's murder, he committed suicide aboard a Miami's houseboat, leaving no note, no note in but just a few belongings. Again, sad. And he was a part of the gay community too. Mm. Wow. Alrighty. So number 7, I think his name is Iswell Sagua. I'm just I'm trying my best to pronounce it. Iswell Sagua fatally shot a woman in his residence in 1981. He consumed various parts of her body over 2 days to absorb her beauty. He had intercourse with her body as well. Excuse me. Later, Sagua attempted to depose of the remainants in a lake near his home in France. After 2 years of waiting for his trial, he was judged insane, and the allegations against him were withdrawn. He eventually gained prominence in Japan and became a mini celebrity there, where he could not be lawfully jailed, and he remained free, and he has remained free to this day. And he has remained free to. So he shot somebody. He shot a woman, killed a woman in his home. Then he consumed various parts of her body over the 2 days to absorb her beauty. So he ate her. And then he had intercourse with the body. Then he was caught. And then he was judged insane. This doesn't make sense. He was judged insane, and the allegations against him were withdrawn. He eventually gained prominence in Japan and became a mini celebrity there, where he could never be lawfully jailed, and he remained free, and he has remained free to this day. So this is kind of confusing to me. So was he caught? So he was waiting for his trial, but he was judged insane. So how did they not send him to a mental institution? Because not only he shot her, he then consumed her, which means ate. He consumed her. Then he had consumed her to absorb her beauty. Then he had intercourse with her dead body. Then he finally attempted to decompose the remains of the body. And then he got caught. Then he was waiting for his trial, where he was judged insane. But he gained popularity in Japan, and he was never jailed for the crime. There's got to be some stuff missing from this. I'm gonna have to read a little bit more about this case, because it's not making sense to me. Because in the United States, he would be in jail even till this day, because not only he killed somebody, he acted on cannibalism, and plus, tell me what y'all think about this one, about number 6, because I don't know. It's weird. It's not making any sense of the fact that he did these things and he was never caught. Alrighty. Alrighty. Number 7. Elizabeth Short, aka the Black Diala. Isabel Short, often known as the Black Diala, was an uprising actress. Oh, I spilled some. Some of my water. Was an aspiring actress who desired fame above all. She could never have anticipated how she could earn it as a victim of of a heinous crime that has haunted America for decades. On January 15th, 1947, a young mother and her 3-year-old daughter came across the body of Elizabeth Short, who was 22 years old at the time. Her body had been entirely sliced in half and laid brutally disfigured in the grass of a Los Angeles suburban area. Her body was split into two pieces roughly a foot apart. Her intestines had been removed, folded, and then reinserted into her stomach. Her her wrist had lig- ligature marks on it, or ligature marks, or I can't pronounce that. I'm trying my best, but um, her wrist had marks on it. Pieces of her skin had been removed, and her entire body had been drained of blood. Oh my God, this is horrible. Her face, though, was perhaps the worst aspect. The killer had sliced it open from the corners of both sides of her lips to her ears, leaving joker-like smile on her face. An editor at the Los Angeles Examiner got a call from someone claiming to be the murderer. A week later, he kept souvenirs and would be sending them over in the mail, he claimed. He followed through on his promise. A postal worker brought out a letter addressed to the Examiner. 4 days later, Short's birth certificate, business cards, pictures, and contact books were all included. But as with so many previous well-known murders, the the media the media circuits mainly served to. Sorry if I can't announce some of these. I might have to skip over it or try my best. But Bewilder or the injury. The authorities were indicted with tips making it difficult to separate the truth from the lies. They interrogated 12 potential suspects and listened to more than 60 persons who have claimed to be the killers, but they were unable to make any arrest. Wow. Wow. That's sad. Not only her body was slit into two. Her body had been slit into two. Her intestines had been removed, folded, and then reinserted into her stomach. Pieces of her skin had been removed, and her entire body had been drained of blood. That's horrible. What person could do this? Her face, and then the worst part about it is that he left a Joker-like smile on her face. Oh my God, these cases are crazy. I don't know where somebody or how somebody could do this to an innocent person, like just to kill people. It will never make sense to me. All right, number 8, Panzerum. Carl Panzerum is known as America's most repulsive serial killers. Throughout the 1920s, he admitted that he killed 21 individuals, though not have been confirmed, and sexually assaulted over 1,000 boys and men. Once Persman hired 6 men to work on a boat alongside him, shot them, and then fed them to crocodiles. This is one of the most heinous crimes This is one of his most heinous crimes. For all of these things, I am not the least bit sorry, is what he said. Wow. Wow. He sexually assaulted 1,000 boys and men. All right. Alrighty, number 8. Kitty, or number 9, my bad. Kitty Genversis. The public was shocked by Kitty Genversis murder, which took place outside her apartment in front of many of her neighbors. The young woman was brutally murdered while crying for help, and the neighbors who heard her screams did nothing to aid her. the psychological, the psychological, the I'm having trouble pronouncing that. I know how to pronounce because I said the psychologist. There we go. The psychologist wondered how could someone observe an attack or observe a crime taking place and do nothing. The phrase bystander effect was coined by psychologists and now appears in almost every psychology textbook. On March 13th, 1964, Katie drove home to her apartment in Kew Gardens around 2:30 a.m. from the bar she worked at in Hollis, Queens. She didn't notice the automobile that followed her all the way from a nearby parking lot. Katie parked her car at the train station and began walking 100 feet to her apartment complex. Then, when Winston Mosley attacked her, that's when Winston Mosley attacked her. As he stabbed her, Katie screamed. Her shouts for aid were loud enough to arouse her neighbors at or wake up her neighbors. In other words, wake up her neighbors at 3:15 in the morning. However, none of them rushed to her rescue. One man shouted, "Leave that girl alone." It was enough to scare Mosley away, but even with him gone, nobody helped Katie back to her feet. For 10 minutes, she crawled across the ground, slowly bleeding out. No one helping her. And then Mosley came back. Ugh. Then he came back. Oh my God. He stabbed Katie several more times before raping and robbing her, and then fled. Neighbors didn't notify the cops until 4 a.m. Over an hour after she was assaulted. It was too late by then. Katie had already passed away. A few witnesses said that they dialed 911, but their calls were not prioritized. Others simply said they presumed someone else would have done it instead. The behavior of Katie's neighbors cost the young woman her life. Wow. So the neighbors just stood there or heard her and didn't do nothing about it. That one neighbor said, "Leave that girl alone," and then he left, and then he came back, stabbed her several more times. But the neighbors, had they got her the first time she was attacked, they could have probably saved her from dying, but they didn't do anything. They didn't come to her rescue or anything. They probably would have been able to save her from her attacker had they got her up the initial time she was attacked before he came back the second time to finish her off. Wow. You would think your neighbors would help you, even risking their own lives. You would think your neighbors would be helpful to help you because it's their neighborhood too. Home is where you're supposed to be safe at, and yet y'all do this. That's crazy. Alrighty. Alrighty. Number 10. The Hello Kitty murderer. Fran Meng Yi, a 20-year-old nightclub waitress, was abducted in 1999 by three men. They tormented her for a month before she died. Though it's unclear whether the men were to blame for her death or it was due to a drug overdose, the man decapitated her and stuffed her skull into a huge Hello Kitty doll. When she died, The three men were all found guilty of manslaughter. The Hello Kitty murder is widely regarded as one of the cruelest, and most ruthless cases to ever come to a honk honk court. Mm, wow. Mm, wow. Crazy. I keep spilling my stuff. Alrighty. Alrighty. So the Lindbergh baby, number 11. The tragic kidnapping and killing of 20-month-old Charles Angus Lindbergh Jr. had become one of America's most well-known murders. On March 1st, 1932, Charles, a well-known aviator who rose to fame after flying solo over the Atlantic, heard a noise from his kitchen that sounded like a wooden container crackling shut. The Lindbergh infant vanished from his crib just minutes afterward died, according to the family nurse. When Lindbergh Sir visited his son's room, he discovered a ransom letter on the windowsill and a broken ladder outside. In exchange for his son's safe return, the note requested $50,000. The Lindbergh family desperately searched for the lost baby for the next 3 months with the help of the FBI. Lindbergh, which is the father, Lindbergh's Sir even paid the huge ransom demanded by kidnappers of his son. The kidnapper, on the other hand, never kept his word. Charles Charles was never going to see his son again. The Lindbergh baby's little body was discovered dead just over a mile from his family's interstate on May 12, 1932. After more than 2 months, he originally went missing. The boy had been missing for at least 2 months and thought to have died on the day he was stolen. His skull had a hole in it, and his bones had been fractured multiple times. Multiple times. Pause. The child's body parts had been eaten off in several places. It appeared like animals had gotten to the body first. Richard Hempelman, a German immigrant with a criminal record, was eventually named as the official perpetrator. Richard was arrested after he had used part of ransom's money. The Lindbergh's baby kidnapping and following trial drew a lot of media interest. Richard was found guilty of the crime and sentenced to death, which was nicknamed the trial of the country. On April 3rd, 1936, Richard died in the electric chair. The Lindbergh infant case promoted Congress to establish the Federal Kidnapping Act 1932, making it illegal to transport a kidnapped victim beyond state lines. The law is commonly referred to as the Lindbergh Law. Wow, that's sad. Mm-mm-mm. Wow, it's nasty how people would do. Alrighty, here's the case I do know. Like I was telling you guys in the beginning of the video, I might know some cases and I might not. Here is the case. We finally got to the boy in the box. Like I said in the beginning, sorry, I got a little bit loud. Like I said in the beginning, the boy in the box was a young boy who was found in a box wrapped in a cover in 1957 in Philadelphia. Till this day, his case has remained unsolved. Nobody, no family members, no nothing had came forward to claim him. There has been witnesses claiming to murder him or claiming to witness him. But to this day, his body was never identified. His name was not never identified. That's why he's named the boy in the box, because his name, dental records, and what do you call it? DNA could not trace back for some reason. So, that's how he got the nickname the boy in the box. Second, nobody has ever claimed for the past 60 years, or now will probably be 75 years, to ever, claim him. His parents, any family members or something never stepped up to claim him and was like, "That's my child that you found," or anything like that. So here we go. Let me read you The Boy in the Box. The Boy in the Box. We're still no closer to uncovering the mystery of the boy in the box even after 60 years. It all began on a freezing February day in 1957 on a railroad just outside Philadelphia. While checking his traps, a young muskrat hunter came across a cardboard box in the woods. The body of a little child, stripped naked and mangled, was found within. The muskrat hunter kept his secret to himself. He was afraid that if he told anyone, the cops would come after him for unlawful traps. So until a braver soul discovered him, the boy's body sat cold and rotten in the woods for days. The kid was between the age of 3 and 7 and had been mistreated horribly. He appeared weak. He had He had appeared weak, malnourished, and unkept and unkept or unkeep. I can't pronounce that. Unkeeping. I can't pronounce the last one, but we're just gonna go keep past that. He just know that he was badly, and when he was found, he was in bad condition, very very bad condition. His hair had been chopped shortly before he had died, and clumps of it stuck to his body. Small scars covered his entire body, particularly on his foot, groin, and chin. One of the modest acts of kindness had been shown to the kid who had been left alone in the box. He had been wrapped in a blanket and left to rot by whoever. How's that kindness? Left alone in the box. He was wrapped in a blanket and left to rot by whoever slandered him. It was the only sign of affection he received. Mm. The police took the boy's fingerprints in hopes of discovering a match, but nothing was found. Hundreds of thousands of flyers were sent around the neighborhood requesting information about the unnamed boy, but no one responded. His parents never claimed him as one of their children. Mm. So DNA, but it says his parents never claimed him as one of their children. The investigators did everything they could to solve the case. They looked at everything from the cardboard box, the blanket he was wrapped in, at the crime site. Every trail they took, however, led to a fresh dead end. One of America's most famous murders has remained unsolved for more than 60 years. Nobody knows this youngster. Nobody knows who the youngster was or how old he would have made it in. How he had would so my bad. Nobody knows how this youngster. Nobody knows who this youngster was, or how he wound up nude and mutilated in a box in the woods. Tragically, after those years, the world will probably never ever learn the name of America's unknown boy. Yeah, so guys, that's the boy in the box. Wow. So like I said, nobody ever claimed him. Although there was this girl named Ruthie or something along those lines, and she claimed to have taken care of the boy, and she claimed to have given the investigators evidence. I mean, not evidence, but given the investigators information that had not been released out to the public yet. So she had told them what he had in his body at the time. She had told him she had told them he was bathed because they found water in his body. Well, not water in his body, they found that his fingers had been, like when you stay in the bathtub too long, your fingers warp, they like turn, like they get all crinkly. They had found that on his hands. They have found um if I didn't mention this already, they have found beans in his body. The woman said that he had baked beans, and they found baked beans in his body, but that never followed through because she was declared. with a mental illness, so they couldn't do anything with that. Then another tip came in about a foster home that he might or might not have been in when they went to go investigate. The foster home was like maybe a mile from where his body was found in the woods. The foster home, they found a basket just like the one, not basket, sorry. They found a box that was just like the one he was found in a blanket, the exact same blanket he was also found in, but that never followed through. So till this day, which will I think will be now 75 years later, he has never been identified. He has never been, nobody ever claimed him. His parents evidently didn't claim him to be one of their 10 children. So yeah, this is not only a very sad case because this boy was maybe 3 to maybe 7 years old. Nobody treated him well. He was he was he was what's the word I'm looking for? He was abused. He was abused, and just to have his life taken and for nobody to know who he is or seen him, nobody to ever claim him. Only God knows who his parents was and what really happened on that fateful day. Um faithfully faithfully cold February day in 1957. So yeah. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So I'm gonna read maybe 3 more of this and then I'm gonna wrap up the video because this video is 56 minutes long now. All right, so the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. With the deaths of 7 men in the late 1920s, Chicago's gang war reached a climax. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre was a terrible scene that will live on in infamy. Al Capone planned the heinous mob killing to finally estimate the competitor George Bugs Morin and establish himself as the Chicago mob top dog. 4 of Capone's men arrived at the Morgan's warehouse on the morning of February 14th, 1929, where he illegally sold whiskey. Capone is thought to have prohibited Morin to the warehouse by claiming that one of his bootlegged operations in Canada needed assistance. 5 of Morin's men accompanied by 2 auto mechanics responded to Capone's call. They filled into the warehouse, oblivious to the fact that Capone's men were waiting for them. Albert Winshank, the last of Morin's men to arrive, was confronted by 2 police officers as he I think that says exited. Sorry, it took me a minute. Exit his Cadillac sedan on the street and made his way inside the warehouse. Morin's men, fearful of being apprehended, formed a line against the wall, their backs to the cops, and remained silent so not to expose their leader. The individuals who stopped them, on the other hand, were not police officials. They were Capone's men in disguise. 2 of Capone's men, dressed in civilian clothing and with submachine guns, stepped inside after Mormon's men were lined up against the wall. The men were showered with gunshots. 6 of them died instantly, but one endured terribly agony for hours before succumbing to his injuries in a hospital bed. Bugs Morin, the plan's original target, was never found. When Shank had been mistaken for Morgan by the men, a mistake that saved Bugs Morgan's life. Capone was the most obvious suspect, yet he managed to escape detection. No one has ever been charged with the murders. Capone never claimed responsibility for the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, brutality, and bloodshed. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, already. Here's another case I know about. Everybody, oh my God, you should know about this case. This was all over the place. John Bennett Ramsey. Who I just got chills saying her name. John Bennett Ramsey. Well known beauty queen, John Bennett Ramsey. In her case, I feel like, along with Adam Walsh's case, along with James Bulger's case, is that these are children, along with many other children, but the most famous children you know about, Adam Walsh, James Bulger, John Bennett Ramsey, Amber Hugman. I think I'm saying her last name right. The one who started the whole Amber Alert thing is the the I'm trying to think of another actress. She was in a TV show called Punky Brewster, the original Punky Brewster, not the revival. I can't remember her name, but her dad not only killed her mom but killed her and himself in a murder suicide and burning down the house. But what's most sad about this is that she was a child and she was only 6 years old. She didn't even know life. She was just now starting her beauty career. She was well known. She was a beauty queen. But 6 years old, you take somebody's life at 6 years old. It's crazy. You don't even know life then. You don't even know what to expect. Only living for 6 years. So when it becomes to involving children that have been murdered, not that commit the murders, I find it very sad and more chilling and more disturbing because it's just sad, especially when they're young, like at 13 or my age, 15 or 10 or 8, 6 months, or even 2 years old, when their whole life is ahead of them and they don't even get to live to see another day is really sad. So John Bennett Ramsey, I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about John Bennett Ramsey. So, for more than 2 decades, the terrible unsolved murder of 6-year-old John Bennett Ramsey had enrailed the country. John Bennett Ramsey was a well-known beauty queen who lived in Boulder, Colorado, with her parents Patricia and John Ramsey, and her 9-year-old brother Burke. The Ramsey family lives were turned upside down on the morning after Christmas in '96. Patsy dialed 911. Patsy dialed 911 in a panic, claiming she had discovered a letter for their daughters. Their daughter. The 3-page note said $118,000 from the wealthy Ramsey family in exchange for John John Ramsey's safe return, Bennett's safe return. But John Bennett hadn't been kidnapped in normal sense. Her body was discovered inside the family house just hours afterward, following a thorough examination of her body. Sorry, I'm just texting my mom, guys. She just texted me to let me know dinner's here. Excuse me. Anyway, where was I? It was discovered that John Bennett had been sexually abused and had suffered a skull fracture. A device built from one of her mother's paintbrushes had also strangled the 6-year-old. John Bennett's killing was ruled a homicide, of course, but mistakes at the crime scene made finding the culprit extremely impossible because of con- contradicting stories and the fact that the ransom note was written on house paper. The Ramsey family was questioned, although John and Patsy were never charged with the crime, while Brooke has also been suspected by some. Police questioned and investigated plenty additional suspects, but none yelled any result. John Bennett Ramsey's sad death remains unsolved till this day. I think the parents did it. Like I said, I knew about Jeanette Ramsey. I know that she had been murdered, but and I've watched videos on her, but reading it yourself, you know, I think the family had did it because there's red flags in her murder. First of all, the ransom family's life was turned upside down. First of all, the letter was written on house paper. If somebody was to kidnap your daughter or your son or whatever the case may be, why would they use a piece of your paper to write their ransom note? They will write their own ransom note on their type of paper or whatever they can find. Second of all, the mother's paintbrush was used to strangle her. And it belonged to her mother. Second of all. Third of all, why would her body had been discovered? It says her body was discovered inside the family's house just hours afterward. So, first of all, she calls the cops. The mom calls the cops about a ransom note for their daughter being kidnapped. Second, 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 the mother's the mother's device paintbrush thingy strangled Ramsey. Third of all, it's mighty convenient how the body was inside the house. Now, if the perpetrator was inside the house, I think you would know if somebody was inside your house. Now, I'm not saying that before y'all say, oh, Aiden, people can live in your attics and everything. I know people can live in your attics, but at some point, the perpetrator will make themselves unknown. I probably didn't gotten louder, but hopefully this is still information to you guys. But first of all, if the perpetrator was inside your house, at some point you would know that there would be somebody in your house because they would make sounds if they're living in the walls or in your attic. They, especially if the house is old, they would make sounds. So, and at some point, they would make their self known. They would make their self known. That's another one. Third, why would why would the mom not know somebody